right. Good morning. What is up, everybody? We only got 3 more NFL games left on the year, 2 today. It's very disappointing, but at least that gives us a couple more games to bet on. Last week was amazing. Let's hope we can continue that. Andrew, how we doing?
Good, man. Good. Yeah, I'm sad. I love the NFL the most of all sports, like many people, and knowing that it's coming to an end, it's kind of bittersweet. I'm not gonna lie, I like the divisional weekends and stuff where you got more games and you get the wild card weekends. I mean, more games, a lot of home crowds going crazy. Like, to me, if anything, like I'm looking more forward to even today than the Super Bowl itself. The Super Bowl, I feel like you get a very sterile kind of crowd environment. That's, the audience is typically, in person at least, people who could afford $10,000 tickets,
Right.
$5,000 tickets, and it's very sterile. I kind of like the raucous, just kind of home crowd advantages. So if anything, I'm pumped up for today. So yeah.
Yeah, either championship round or the divisional round is the best weekend, because divisional, it's like 2 games 2 days of awesome games, but today's going to be good. Last week, I posted just the tweet that we sent out last week when we had the most incredible Sunday ever. So hopefully we can continue that luck today. I kind of bummed out. I went to the Nuggets Sixers game yesterday, and Embiid got ruled out like 10 minutes before the game. So it was like the most expensive ticket of the regular season.
Gosh, yeah.
Because everyone was like, "Oh, Embiid Jokic," and then he had no injury designation, and 10 minutes before the game got ruled out. So hopefully I got my bad luck out of the weekend yesterday.
Yeah. They put up a fight, though. They put up a fight for most, all the way to the end, and then they just couldn't hold on anymore. And then finally, the Nuggets are like, all right, let's take this serious now and try to get this dub.
Yeah, it was tied with like 5 minutes left maybe, and then the Nuggets went on a 7-0 run, and that was that. The Sixers just ran out of gas. Like, they just did not have the talent, the shot making talent even to keep up as well as they did. But it ended up being a pretty entertaining game. But anyways, first game, we'll just go through it in order. It's at 3 p.m. Eastern. Chiefs versus Ravens. Chiefs, once again, underdogs as the away team. Kind of interesting. Like, the spread opened up at, I'm talking like the opening lines at -3.
Yeah.
And then quickly got up to 3.5 almost immediately. And then as the week went on, 4. Now it's even at 4.5 at some places. Like, you feel like the Ravens, you're getting them best offer to -4 at -112 at DK. I feel like the Chiefs, you like the +4.5, -110 at Caesars. And the total is mostly at 44. You can find a 43.5, and you can also find a 44.5. So whether you like the over or the under, you can kind of find a little bit of value there. But in terms of main lines, what do you think about this one?
Man, bottom line, look, I think the Ravens are going to win. I was on the Chiefs last week as an underdog, so I felt like, and that worked out. That was a great bet, and I went kind of heavy on that one. So I'm glad that worked out. But that was against a Bills team where it played out like I thought. Josh Allen, I don't know that he completed many deep passes, if many beyond maybe even 10 yards or something.
Yeah. So they did a really good job at the beginning of the game, like stringing together long drives. But in the fourth quarter, or in the whole game, I don't think they had one play above like 25 yards. It was something like mostly everything was kept in check.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, so he basically, minus, missing Diggs a couple times when it was so close, but
or Diggs just dropping it when it was
or Diggs just dropping it. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, so basically you had a team that literally, in my opinion, could not pass. Most of their passing yards, honestly, were like dump offs or yards after the catch from like a screenplay or catching someone in the flattened space. So the fact that the Bills almost won that game without literally having a passing game, and with the Bills basically having half of their defense like missing or hospitalized or on the injured reserve, to me, I think that's where this is going to be different. You are going to get there are vulnerabilities, but a very well-balanced team on both sides. Obviously, the Ravens can run it all game if they want, so they can mimic what the Bills can do. But, I just think it's also kind of undervalued the fact that, look, Lamar can pass the ball, and Lamar has, I wouldn't say world beater wide receiver options, but he's got a balanced attack of a handful of people, any of which could step up to help out in the passing game. The fact that the run game is strong, that the Chiefs' run D is vulnerable, that you have a mobile quarterback in Lamar Jackson. those are the things that are going to make up for the deficiencies of the receivers and the tight ends and give them some open looks, because you got to spy Lamar Jackson. He's going to scramble. He's going to extend plays just like Mahomes does. And that's where you're going to get random wide open guys here and there. And they're going to be able to pass more efficiently, in my opinion, than the Bills. So I just think there's going to be an edge. The problem is you're playing Patrick Mahomes. Like literally, you're playing Patrick Mahomes, which makes it so tough. So bottom line, that was long-winded. I do think the Ravens are going to win. I'm actually going to pass right now on the spread, because if I were a sharp better, which I don't think I am, the sharps out there, they jumped on -3 when it was available at MGM, at FanDuel. Like there was a brief moment when it was at 3, man. And if you track the money, they pounded that. And that's what kind of shifted that to 3.5. I thought there would be enough. They're baiting people, like pay public, give us that Chiefs money. I thought it might get pushed back down, but if anything, it's going back the other direction. So I'm with those sharps. If I was smart enough, I would have taken Ravens -3 at like 4.5. I think this is going to be a tight game. I think it's going to be competitive. I worry because Patrick Mahomes is so legendary and good as a quarterback, and I'm not going to touch that. I am going to touch the total, though, and I am going to roll with the over. I know a lot of people are on the under, which has kind of driven it down and shaved off even another half point. I'll take the over on this game, an over 44, because look, in my mind, last game for the Chiefs, in my mind, that was going to be a slog of a game. Weather conditions. I knew the Bills were limited, so they were going to try to be ball dominant, which they were, and they almost pulled it off. Ball dominant, killing the clock, yet the total ended up at 51. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think the Ravens are going to be able to put up more points more efficiently on efficient drives than the Bills would be. So seeing what I saw last week, and it was still able to soar over some of these key numbers, I think both sides are going to be able to score enough that you're going to go over this total, even if the Ravens convert to a more conservative ball control kind of game later in the game. But I think the Chiefs are going to keep it close enough that I think the Ravens are going to have to pass. So I like the over. So I'm actually going to go with the over, even though I know money's pouring in on the under. So I think Ravens are going to win, but I'm going to stay away on the spread. And I like the total going over 44.
Yeah. So I actually lean the opposite of you. I would actually lean this going under. One thing that I did, I do this every week at the like as soon as I'm able to look at lines when they're posted, I'll try and find like where there's some discrepancy. So I was able to get the Ravens -3. I put a full unit on that, and then
nice.
and then I got the under 45.5 as well. So I got like 2 CLVWs there. At this point, I'm kind of with you. Like it's if you have not had bet anything on main lines, it's either Chiefs spread or pass, because I don't think like you're not getting any value on the Ravens at this point. You kind of missed the boat on that.
Exactly, you missed it.
And like I'm not. It's like telling people that they should take money line. Like it's the money line is like -220. I think is the best off. Like I'm not telling people to take that.
No.
So unfortunately, this late in the game, it's Chiefs +4.5 or pass. I still kind of like the under 44.5. You can get that at -120, I think, on FanDuel. But my most confident play, and this isn't super helpful now, but it was Ravens -3. I feel like this whole you can't bet against Mahomes. You can't bet against Mahomes. Like he's been good in the playoffs so far, but look at the two defenses. Like the Bills defense that you mentioned is banged up.
Yeah.
The Dolphins defense the week before was even more banged up. They were even worse off than the Chiefs. And like the Chiefs or the Bills, the Dolphins offense or defense was also still really banged up. I'm just fumbling through my words here, but the Ravens defense is a totally different animal. Best defense in the NFL, according to DVOA. Best passing defense in the NFL, according to DVOA. Fourth best fourth best offense. Like so well balanced, good at everything. And the Chiefs are kind of banged up now as well. Not as key injuries, but they're missing an offensive lineman who's really helpful in the running game. Joe Tooney is really good at moving bodies in the running game. And they're missing Willie Gay at linebacker, who's like their number one guy for spying quarterbacks. And if you know, Josh Allen ran wild against the Chiefs last week running. Josh Allen had 72 rushing yards. And they're also missing a safety. Like they're just missing bodies. Whereas the Ravens are getting healthier. They're getting Mark Andrews back, which I don't know how effective he'll be in his first game back, but it's still like another weapon to account for. And then the Ravens are also getting Marlon Humphrey back as well on the defensive side. So And like the Bills defense, they only had 3 healthy linebackers in that game. Like that is how you get torched by Travis Kelce, who had two touchdowns and like the best game he's had since October, basically.
Yeah.
So I really like the Ravens in this one. You kind of missed the boat. And everybody that's like, oh, this game is rigged and the NFL wants Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl. If you think football's rigged, then don't watch a live stream for NFL betting because everything's going to be pre-decided anyways. So that's my, I mean, I posted a video like early picks and I picked the Ravens and every single comment was like, this is obvious. Chiefs are going to win. Like the NFL wants Taylor. It's like, it's rigged. Like the Bills were told to lose and they did. And I'm like, imagine telling Josh Allen, like, hey, you have to lose this game. So like all that I think is such nonsense.
Yeah.
But yes, that's kind of where I lean. Maybe what you could do is like, if the Chiefs get the ball first and score on their first possession, then I would still like a live line on the Ravens. Cause I just think they're better. I think that's really what it comes down to. Like Lamar is an excellent quarterback in the pocket. It's like a misnomer that, if you just keep him in the pocket, he can't do anything. That's not the case anymore. He's like a top 5 quarterback in the pocket.
Yep.
So it looks like we're aligned on the Ravens and we're opposite on the total.
Yep.
Anything else on the main lines? You ready to move on to some player props?
No. Got player props ready to go. So both TD and non-TD. So yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Let's start with non-TD. Okay. And let's see what do you got?
Okay, so I'm going to start off with the QBs themselves very quickly. These are the QBs. These are self-explanatory, so I'm not going to give you stats on these. I'll give you stats on the more obscure, low totem pole guys later. So Lamar Jackson, over 64.5 rushing yards. Do I think this is inflated? Yes, it's obviously inflated, okay? But this is Lamar's moment. I think there's a lot of pressure. It's just he's been so close knocking on the door. This is the closest he's ever been. I just think there's a lot of pressure on the Ravens. There's a lot of pressure on Lamar Jackson, in my opinion. To me, I almost view this as like Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are playing with house money. I mean, half the season, I'm just like, I don't even know if they're going to figure it out yet. Here we are knocking on the door of the Super Bowl. So I don't know that they come in with a ton of pressure. Everyone keeps talking about legacy. Like, look, man, he's already one of the best to play. Okay. So I don't know that he's got a ton of, minus the fact that it's a high pressure situation in game, but I just think Lamar, there's so much riding on Lamar right now. I just think he's going to take it upon himself to will his team to try to win. So even though I would have loved to seen this hover more like at 55, 56, and I think it's just been inflated given his performance last game, I'm just going to roll with it. So this one, it's not even about value. This is more just like there's not many games left, and some of this is now going to be gut and eye test. I think he's just going to run a lot. So, I mean, it's as simple as that. So I'm taking Lamar Jackson over 64.5 rushing yards. You can get that at minus 115 at ESPN bet. And then my other QB one, then I'll pause and throw it back to you for I'll wait for the receiver ones till later. I am going to go with a chalky. This is just chalk as well. Chalk QB plays because I don't want to even question it. Patrick Mahomes. I mean, who would have thought in a do or die game you can get over 1.5 passing touchdowns at pretty okay odds, minus 118. I missed it a little bit. People got it even close to even money earlier, but I'm still going to roll with it. Again, I'm missing value in CLV. I don't care. Mahomes over 1.5 passing touchdowns, minus 118 on FanDuel. Even with all the limitations, I mean, look, he's still Patrick Mahomes. Projections, a lot of fantasy projections show him going over it. Has he had an unbelievable hit rate? No. If you look at the last 10 games, he's only done this about half the time. So it's not even a trend play. It's just this is a do or die game. I have more faith that Patrick Mahomes will find the end zone and pay dirt by passing this game versus what I've been typically saying for the last few weeks in a row, Pacheco. This time, I do think they're going to have to air it out and get some passing touchdowns to beat the Ravens or have a chance at least. So give me those as my QB props, and then I'll throw it back to you before I do some of the receiver ones later.
Sure. Yeah, I'm also on Lamar rushing. I got him over 63.5 at minus 115. So it's like just a 1 yard difference.
Nice.
It looks like someone, Mr. Sparkle commented, like you could get him 70 plus for plus money. That's not terrible. Like he ran for 100 last week on 11 carries. Josh Allen ran for 72 against the Chiefs. And like I said, the Chiefs' biggest the linebacker who they have spy rushing quarterbacks is out, and Willie Gay. And they're also, like I said, missing safety as well. A lot of questions about like passing for Lamar, like passing yards, passing completions, passing attempts. I don't have anything on Lamar passing. If anything, I kind of like the completions because I feel like 19.5 is a low number.
Yeah.
And there's, like I said, there's this misnomer that he can't pass. I haven't looked into that play a ton. That's just kind of more just thinking about it. I don't know like what his hit rate is and stuff like that. But the most confident one I have, I'm also on his rushing. I also like Mahomes rushing as well, kind of for similar logic. His numbers, I think at 25.5 is what I got it at. That's what it's at now. So it got up to 27.5. That one's a little scarier.
Yeah.
I got it at 25.5. He technically went under last week, Mahomes did, but he had a 24-yard rush in the game, and then he kneeled it out to lose yards. Like I think he ended with 21. But it's similar logic. Like quarterbacks just run more in the playoffs when it's do or die, and you're not trying to save yourself or anything like that.
Yeah.
To
answer that guy's question, here's Lamar's pass completions.
There you go.
16, 18 against the Dolphins, 23 against San Francisco, 14 against Jacksonville, 24, and then he had 18, 16, 13. So in the last, like, to keep this simple, in the last 10 games, he's hit over 19.5 3 times out of 10, so 30%. So not a huge hit rate. So
yeah,
and then the last couple games, 16 against Houston, 18 against Miami.
Yeah, I wonder if because like the Chiefs defense, they don't give up anything deep. So maybe it'll be like kind of like go to Josh Allen. I'm curious what Josh Allen had last week because I'm guessing it's going to be a similar game plan that you'd play. The Ravens are just a little bit better.
Josh Allen, wow, Jesus, 20. Wow, there was a lot of dinking and dunking. So my anecdotal, it's 20. He had 26 out of 39 completions. Oh
yeah, that makes sense. That's
a little, So maybe, that's not bad. It's not. That's like you said, it's a low completion line.
It really is. Yeah,
it's low. That is low. You're right. That's low.
Anyways, all right. Yeah, I don't have any more that I officially played. I did take the Patrick Mahomes over 1.5 passing touchdowns. That was an EV play. I got it at -110.
So you're smart. You're smart.
But I didn't make that an official play or anything. That's why I looked at my phone to see what I got it at. And then I did get him over 25.5 rushing yards. But yeah, all right. So you said you had some other ones, non-touchdown. What else you got?
Yeah, real quick. So for those of you who like Lamar, but you're like, oh God, 65 sounds like a lot. So, 64.5, 63.5 sounds like a lot. There's another angle if you want, which I'm going to dabble in this. I'm telling you, I am going to throw money on this officially. If you want to do Lamar 25 rushing yards in each half, plus 130. I don't mind that at all. I see him running all game. So I don't think it's a lot to ask for 25 yards of rushing in each half. So
that's pretty good. That's 25 plus. It's like if he gets he would go under if you get exactly 25.
That's what I'm saying. So so it's so I'm gonna dabble in that. So here are my non-TD plays, okay, or my non-QB plays. So these I am gonna divvy because I don't want to go too heavy and crazy just because there's 2 games. I don't want to force action, so I'm gonna split it up just so I have things to root for. Let me pull this up right here. Okay, so I have Isaiah Likely over 20.5 receiving yards. I know. First reaction. Everyone, Mark Andrews is back. I don't know what Mark Andrews is going to bring to the table. People were contemplating he was done for the season. Now he's just going to suddenly show up and be a world beater. I hope he is because that'll make it a better game. But I don't know if he's going to be a decoy. I don't know what percentage of snaps he's going to get. Is he really just going to take Charlie Kolar's snaps, or is he going to be the predominant tight end featured? But either way, I think there's not enough love, and people are ignoring the fact that Likely has been solidly producing. And if you're going to give me Likely in this high stakes game at 20.5 yards, man, I don't know. It's 2 passes, maybe 3, 1 long pass and 2 dink and dunks. So give me Isaiah Likely at a healthy -105 on FanDuel. Awesome. So that's 1 half unit play right there. Another half unit play, another Ravens, Aguilar. Over 15.5 receiving yards, -110 on FanDuel. Why am I going to pick Aguilar? Because it's a low line. He has actually hit this about half the time. And in the last few weeks, he's gone like 2 out of 4. So 50-50. He, in the last 10 games, 50-50 still. So he's hitting this at a half, clip. But when he does, he goes way over. He got 37, 32, 21, 39, 18. So Man coverage. Lamar's going to scramble. I think it's not, I don't even know if it's going to be a planned route tree, but like he's just going to be open randomly when Lamar extends a play, in my opinion. And again, doesn't take much to get 15.5 yards. We might get this on one broken play. We might get one pass where everyone's eyeballing and trying to spy Lamar, and he just finds like an open spot in a soft area. So give me that. And then two more. Ooh, a lot of these you can get my sense. These are low lines. I'm not looking at the Kelseys of the world and stuff. So I got Watson on the Chiefs for over 15.5 yards at PointsBet. It's already been bet up since this morning. I bet that this morning. Think now, unfortunately, it's at 17.5. That's about as much as I would go. I would stop there. But Watson over 17.5. I'm looking for people where, again, not the Kelseys of the world and not the Rashee Rices of the world. Who's going to step up? Because everyone's going to be focused on taking away your best threats. God, again, same thing like Aguilar. It's like a pass or two, maybe, for Justin Watson. He's dropped a few. If he just doesn't drop them like Kate Otten does, we might get that in one pass. So I got Watson, Aguilar, Likely's main lines. I like all three of those to go over. And then lastly, then we'll do TDs. Game special. Go to the game special section on FanDuel. I don't think this is crazy. And I shout out to Kurt Tran. He's on some Discord somewhere, WhatsApp chat. He sent this to me. I like it. So I'm not going to say I thought of it. He sent it over to me. Each team to score one touchdown in each half. So both teams got to score a touchdown apiece in each half. Plus 160. That's juicy. Plus 160.
Wait, each team just needs to score one touchdown
in each half. Yeah. So
are you sure it's
Chiefs and the Ravens got to score one touchdown apiece each. Each one has to score a touchdown. So two total, one from each team in the first half, one from each team in the second half. So they each got to score a touchdown in each half.
I'm looking at game specials and I only see one touchdown to be scored in each quarter at plus 160.
No. So that's what I was like, where did you find that? I think it's under the scoring tab. It's weird. They don't have it under game specials.
So it's not a game. Okay.
Sorry, my bad. Not under game specials. And that's what's confusing. I don't know why they tucked it in a separate section. It's under scoring. It's under the scoring header. Sorry. And then somehow I've never seen it placed like that before. So I don't know if this is just like special because it's like it's the division, the AFC Championship. Like I've never seen them tuck other specials in other tabs that are not under game special. So if you go to scoring, under the scoring section, there are these weird specials, and one of them is.
I see it now. Okay, so what you need to do for people that haven't locked it in, because I did it as you were walking through it. So go to the Ravens-Chiefs game on FanDuel, go to scoring, and you need to scroll down, both teams to score 1+ touchdown in each half, plus 160.
For those who are on the under, I still don't think that's a horrible bet. It's one touchdown apiece.
That's 14 points in each half.
And you're plus 160. That's pretty juicy. So especially because I like the over, and I have faith that Mahomes can find pay dirt once in each half. I have total faith that the Ravens can find pay dirt once in each half. To me, that's a no-brainer. I'm going to go full on unit and a half on that one. Not even a unit. I'm going unit and a half. I'm cheering for touchdowns today, guys. There we go.
All right. So it looks like someone in the comments, Brian, was kind of aligned with you. He said with these receivers, we need to look for value in the second or third tiers.
Yes.
That's exactly what you ended up doing. So good shout there. Mr. Sparkle asking about Mark Andrews. That does seem kind of like a fishy line. Like pricing him at 33.5 makes it seem like they're expecting him to play limited snaps. Because like you said, Likely's is at 20.5. And if Andrews was healthy, Andrews would be at 50. Likely would be at like 9.5.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't hate anyone who takes that, because if you're healthy enough to be on the field.
And like he practiced in full for 2 straight weeks, but it's like an ankle injury. Like those are like, Drake said it best, not a sprained ankle is not anything that you want to play with. I always look for my injury analysis for Drake lyrics. So and
that's why I went with Likely. I just know he's healthy. So I don't know.
And he's been great. Like he's been really good.
I don't hate anyone taking Andrews though. That's so low for him. Yeah.
And Odell's at 20.5. Like you could really convince me on any of these receivers for the Ravens, like Odell, Even
So
Rashad Bateman.
Rashad Bateman. It was so hard for me to choose. Bateman, Likely, Aguilar, all these guys. It's like 1 or 2 passes a piece. I don't hate it if you sprinkle on all of them, honestly. Like, just be responsible with your unit sizing. I could see Odell getting, they're not exclusive. The lines are so low. I think everyone is expecting the Ravens to only run, which I think is a misconception.
I agree. I totally agree.
That I could see Odell hitting, Bateman hitting, Aguilar hitting, Likely hitting. And I don't think they're exclusive of one another. Usually you'd say there's only so many yards to go around, but I think the lines are so low on these secondary guys, on not even just the receivers on the Ravens in general. You can probably hit on 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar could pass for 200 yards, and all these guys could go over it. They're all, like you said, they're all
so weird. You can't usually say that.
They're all super low. Some receiving props that I'm on. So this is going to sound lame, and everyone's going to hate me. I'm taking Travis Kelce's under receiving yards. It's 60. It's the highest of the game at 63.5. You can get it at -115 at Bet Rivers. The next highest in the game is at 40. That's how low these receiving totals are. Wow. But the Ravens, like, their linebackers are incredible. And everybody's like, well, look at Kelce. He's back. Like, he's just showing up for the playoffs. The Bills had 3 healthy linebackers. All of them were hurt. Like, their entire middle of the field was hurt. And it's just the Ravens defense is just totally different. I feel like people saw the Chiefs win 2 straight playoff games and are like, well, of course, like, Mahomes showed up in the playoffs. And maybe he did a LeBron and he flipped the switch. But to me, it's had more so to do about their opponents than them just figuring it out. And if we remember how bad Kelce was to end the year, it's because they have nobody else. And the Ravens defense is good enough and smart enough to slow him down. So that one's going to feel disgusting because you're like, why would I take a Kelce under? But I actually do really like that one. I wouldn't put more than a half unit on it, even though like, context aside, I think it would be worth a full unit play. And also from a value perspective, like 63.5 at -115 at Bet Rivers. FanDuel and ESPN Bet both have that at 61.5. Caesars has it at 62.5, but favors the under. Like, it's a good price. Yeah. And then I haven't locked this one in officially, but there's a guy in my Discord who loves Rashee Rice's over 58.5 receiving yards. So I wanted to give him a shout out. He's like their only receiver that they can rely on. So I don't hate that. I think I didn't actually take it, so I do want to be upfront, but I'm debating it. So yeah. And then someone asked about any reception props. I didn't have any, to be honest with you. All of them are so low. Like, again, the highest reception prop is Kelce, and I think his was 5.5. Like, Zay Flowers was 4.5. Gus Edwards was 0.5. It's just, the books didn't know what to do with these passing weapons. So, like, Pacheco's is 3.5. The Ravens do give up a decent amount of checkdowns to the running back. I think that's mostly because they're always winning. So Rashee Rice is 6.5 and Kelce's 5.5. So there you go.
So people in the chat, for those we appreciate you for joining us when there's like 8 million video streams you could join or watch, right? And mega networks. Tell me right now, participant, Brian, especially you, Brian and Mr. Sparkle. I'm staring right now at Noah Gray over 9.5 yards. We said value. We said value, right?
That
over
is
9.5, over 9.5 on ESPN Bet. Please convince me. I should take this, right, Brian? Brian,
that is weird
over
timing.
9.5?
That is weird timing because Brian just commented and said Noah Gray over 10.5, no brainer.
Yeah, over 9.5 on ESPN Bet if you want to pay the extra 5 cents. But if you don't want the 10.5, whatever, 9.5, 10.5. ESPN Bet over 9.5. I got to do it, right, Brian? Tell me yes. Tell me yes. Just tell me yes so I can bet it.
David H says yes, and Mr. Sparkle's in. I did want to say real quick. Jordan asked about that play you gave out, and I can walk you through it. So it's basically both teams score at least 1 touchdown in each half, and the way you find it, it's +160. The way you find it, 1 touchdown each. Of them have to score. Yeah, each team to score 1 touchdown in each half. The way you find it is you just go to the game on FanDuel, Chiefs at Ravens, and then you need to scroll in the tabs to scoring. And then you need to scroll down pretty far. Like you scroll down past race to 5, 10, 15, whatever, past total touchdowns. And then there's a market that says both teams to score at least 1 touchdown in each half. And that is that's what the play is. It's +160. I think that's going to get steamed down because as soon as people catch wind of it, that's what it is. But yeah, everybody's telling you to take Noah Gray.
Okay. It's official. It's impromptu. It's impulsive. But I'm riding with Brian and Mr. Sparkle. Noah Gray, 1 pass over 9.5 yards. Let's go. We got it.
Oh, Matthew. I disavow DraftKings, even though technically they sponsor a stream that I do for betting pros. So let's hope that they're not watching this. But apparently DraftKings is giving that 1 TD in each half at plus 175.
Okay, then forget it. Go to DraftKings, guys. Go to DraftKings.
If they don't limit you, yeah, by all means. FanDuel will let me actually put.
Unfortunately, I'm limited there too now. So
yeah. All right. Any other non-touchdown player props?
That's what I got. That's
all right.
Spreading it out. Yep.
Some people, Mr. Sparkle was asking about Andrews at plus 240. If you're going to back Andrews, I would actually take this over his receiving yards because maybe he only plays in the red zone. That they could be using him for red zone packages. So him at plus 240 is pretty good.
Mr. Sparkle, last week they ran 4 2 tight end packages in the red zone. So maybe that convinces you to go for it. If you have faith, he is semi-healthy. Ooh. They ran 4 2D tight end sets in the red zone last week. So I don't hate it.
If you are in Colorado or New Jersey, Sport Trade is giving that to you at plus 265. And that
even
is
better.
Is clearly the best in the market. FanDuel is close at 240. The next closest one is plus 220. So I am taking that. I am putting a half unit on that as we speak, the Mark Andrews anytime touchdown. I'm taking it at 265. I would still recommend it at 240. But I'll give a shout out to Mr. Sparkle for giving us that play. Anyways, what do you have for anytime touchdowns?
Oh, touchdowns. Yeah, I don't hate that. So, but I might just tail, but I'll tail with you guys. But in terms of touchdowns, man, okay. I got a couple chalk, and then you know me, I can't help it because we're running out of NFL games here. I got a couple crazy ones. So, okay. Lamar Jackson at plus 115. I don't know how I don't take Lamar at plus money. I know that's chalk. I'm not even going to explain it. It's self-explanatory.
That same guy in my Discord, he was on Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown.
Yeah. So one full unit, $100 to win 115 profit. Lamar Jackson plus 115 FanDuel. I don't know how I don't take that. Okay.
It's plus 110 now, just to
okay.
Heads up.
Plus 110. You heard how much I liked Likely. So I am going to put 3/4 of a unit on Isaiah Likely at plus 350 on FanDuel.
350.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I mean, I get it. I could be so wrong, right? Like so be careful here, right? I know I'm putting all my eggs in I'm putting a lot of eggs, not all, but some of my eggs in the Isaiah Likely basket. Like I said, I just don't know what Andrews is going to bring. Maybe Andrews comes back and he's going to be a beast and he's going to get 2 touchdowns and 50, 60 yards. I don't know. But I do know Isaiah Likely, if anything, will benefit from Andrews' presence back on. And like I said, back to my comment to Mr. Sparkle, they ran 2 tight end sets with Likely and Kolar 4 times last week. So don't tell me that they're not going to have their stud back with Andrews and not run 2 tight end sets. Who's going to be the loser in that is going to be Kolar, right? So it's going to be Likely and Andrews running 2 tight end sets. So if anything, I think that enhances Likely's chances to kill. Everyone's going to be freaked out. He's Lamar's go-to guy. And then you're going to give me bumped up odds on Likely at plus 350. I missed the boat too. I'm not even smart. It was a plus 400 earlier today. So
wow.
Even by the time I showered and got out of the shower, I'm like, oh, I'll just hop in the shower. Showers keep screwing me. Last week I said the same thing. So for those of you who locked in at 400, you got real great value. So I like that. So plus 350. I can't blame anyone on the Andrews side. We just said that. It's just take your guess. Is it Andrews? Is it Likely? But one of the tight ends is going to score today, in my opinion. So
you heard it here first. ParlayDoc saying don't shower.
Don't shower. Okay.
Yeah, don't shower.
And then here are my long shots. And be clear, super long shots. Okay, real quick. Noah Gray plus 1,000. I don't know. I mean, I know he doesn't score a lot, but you're just... I'm with Matt. I think they're going to shut down Kelsey today. Someone's got to score. So Noah Gray plus 1,000. I would say, like I said, 10th or 0.15. Yeah, there you go. Like 10th to 15th, 10.10, 0.15 units. Very small guys, okay? Aguilar, because of man coverage stats, plus 800. Same thing. I'm doing 0.2. Yeah, 0.25 units. Quarter unit, guys. Don't go nuts. Maybe a total flop. Man, but that's huge. Plus 800. 0.25. Okay.
It's at 750 now. That's still really good.
Whatever. 750. Lastly, this one I'm going 0.33. So just not to be annoying, but I am measuring out my units precisely. 0.33 unit size. Patrick Mahomes to scramble one in. He has not scored a rushing touchdown in many years in the postseason. I don't even think he's done one this whole season. But weirdly, he has a ton of scrambles. So he is your eye test is correct. He will scramble the most out of everyone. So maybe he's due, guys. Maybe he's due. And today's the day that he's due at plus 750 on FanDuel. Those are my TDs.
So I also sprinkled totally independently on Patrick Mahomes. I got a horrible price. I got it at plus 600. It's now plus 650. That's worth a quarter unit in my opinion. Like you said, he hasn't scored yet, but he does scramble more. And
that's a
in this
huge
game,
fluctuation. It went from 600 to 750 to 650. Wow, that's a lot of movement.
Yeah, so Mahomes is currently at 750. And I'm totally with you. And David H said, like, I think this is his first playoffs currently without a rushing touchdown. So if they lose and he doesn't score, it would be the first one. So yeah, I like that one. Mr. Sparkle mentioned if you wanted to do 2+ for Lamar, it's at plus 700.
Wow.
Josh Allen scored 2. I think, right? You were on
first
that last
half,
week.
First half. He did in the first half. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another way to go for it. Non-touchdown, but people are asking about. I've seen a lot of people on Justice Hill receiving props because
I don't hate it.
Gus led, like if the game's close and they're not just running the ball the whole second half, it would be Justice Hill over Gus Edwards.
Yeah. I don't hate that.
So I'm with you. I also put a half or a quarter unit on Mahomes. My official play, and I only took one. See, unlike you, I didn't put a ton of dart throws. I just called my shot on one player. I'm taking Isaiah Pacheco again. For what he scored in 6 straight weeks. 6 straight weeks he scored a touchdown. And the odds are literally getting better. Like 3 weeks ago against the Dolphins, I got it at plus 100. Last week against the Bills, I got it at plus 115. Now it's at plus 140. And it's like, I get that the Ravens defense is better, but it's still plus 140. That's still the price. I get that the Ravens defense is better, but if they get in the red zone, they're just going to give it to Isaiah Pacheco. And he's dealing with, I think he is playing. He is dealing with something. I think it's an ankle or he is dealing with something. That is true. And maybe that's why we're getting the plus 140, but he got banged up last week. And then they put him back in the game, and then he scored. So maybe that's like adrenaline, but he's going to get shot up. Like that foot's going to be numb by the end of the day. And if they're in the red zone, they're just going to hand it off to him. Like they don't trust Clyde because Clyde's terrible. They tried an end around with Mecole Hardman, who fumbled it through the end zone last week.
Oh God!
And
what a joke! What a joke!
David H. literally stole my train of thought. I do kind of like taking Mecole Hardman anytime touchdown because Andy Reid is going to love that story. He's going to be like, he fumbled through the end zone on the New Heights podcast. Travis Kelce apologized, saying like it was Kelsey's fault. Like he's like, I missed my block. It's not Hardman's fault. Like nobody should be mad at Hardman. They should be mad at me. He took the blame for it. He's like, I love that guy. He's like, I know he's going to show up for us next week. And it's plus 1,200.
1,200? Where? Yeah. Where is it? 1,200
on FanDuel.
Oh my God!
So I just
why are you doing this to me, Matt? You know me.
Someone commented on my anytime fumble. That's hilarious.
Anytime fumble.
Somebody I posted like a long shot, I think plus 1,500 NBA play earlier this week, and one guy commented. He was like, "One thing you need to know about me is that I will almost put $5 on anything." So I was like, "That's a great." It's a great mentality to have. And I put a 0.15 units on Mecole Hardman anytime touchdown because that's the most Andy Reid thing in the world. Like he has Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey and like an elite red zone running back. He's like, nah, I'm doing an end around with Mecole Hardman.
You know what? So, we're wrapping up NFL. How about this too? I'm gonna throw $5 on the Mecole Hardman first TD just to even spice it up even further. There you go. Touchdown. There you go. I'm whatever. It's debauchery today, guys. I love it. There's very few games left, so why not? There you go. So I'll sprinkle on the anytime because I'm an idiot and I love those. But I'll also throw $5 on the
plus 5,000.
First TD as well. So.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Just because you gave that Andy Reid.
It's just the most Andy Reid thing in the world. All right.
Funny, man.
Kadarius Toney anytime turnover. He's not playing, or else that would be a play.
That would be a lock of the century.
All right.
That would be
Sorry.
line movement of 2 points in favor of the Ravens.
All right, we're good.
Oh,
Something caught in my throat.
There we
All
go.
right. Anything left for this game? I think we.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I think I shot my shot for this game. I don't have a ton for the next game, but
see, I feel the opposite. I didn't know what to do with this one. I feel great about a couple of props.
Oh, see, that's funny. I think it's the allure of all those low receiving lines for the non-Kelseys of the world that I was like, I just got to just spread and get all these. I said, I'm going to win them all. That was my mindset. I'm going to win all these receiving props. We'll see. We'll see if it happens. So at least you're going to carry us for this one then. So
there we go. All right, there's a typo.
I was all in on the other one. So yeah.
All right, so this game, the second game on the slate, 6:30 Eastern, Lions 49ers. This spread opened up 49ers minus 6.5. Quickly got bet up to 7, but it mostly stayed stagnant there. Like there's some 7s, there's some 7.5 around there. The total is, last I checked at least, it might have changed since we hopped on the stream. The total is universally at 51.5. There was no line movement on the total at all. Okay, so that actually, wow. Since that I made these graphics an hour ago.
Yeah.
The total was universally at 51.5. Now 90% of the books are at 52.5. So the total got steamed up.
Wow.
If you are in Colorado or New Jersey, Sporttrade still has a 51.5 line out there for the total. While every other book moved it up. If you're not in Colorado or New Jersey and you still want to take the over, you can take it at 52. That like literally happened since we've been on the stream, which is that line movement stuff's always crazy. So anyways, with that in mind, I'm actually locking in the total as we speak, because I do think that's a good price, the over 51.5 at minus 113. But main lines, what do you like in this one?
Oh man, I actually was flip-flopping, but I didn't know that you could get -7 because I looked at it earlier. I didn't see any 7 flats. I just saw the -7.5s across the board. But
so -7, you could get it minus 120 at MGM, at Caesars, and yeah, those two.
God, oh, it's baiting me. It's baiting me. Fuck. Okay, -7. Then yeah, I would go 49ers. I just I get it. They're not like a lockdown elite, like they're going to shut you down type of defense. But again, they're a well-balanced team, just like the Ravens are. I think Brock Purdy gets a ton of disrespect, and yeah, I get it. You know, the camera kept zooming in. He's like, "Oh, I can't hold the ball because it's wet." But I think they're making too much of that. I think the weather is going to be fine. It's looking like, from what I can tell.
It's not gonna rain.
So,
yeah,
everyone keeps talking about that all week long, and I'm like, I don't know. Unless the meteorologist is super wrong, it seems like it's going to be fine. So I don't think that I can't hold the ball factor is going to be a huge thing. That I don't know, man. I see the 49ers. Everyone's thinking they're going to implode like the Cowboys or something. I don't see that happening. I think it's going to be a competitive game, and I do think the 49ers can cover 7. It's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be like a runaway train, but 7. Oh, now that it's not 7.5, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I will lock it in now. I'm going to go 49ers -7. I was hesitant because of the 7.5. I didn't want to get hooked. -7. I have confidence they can cover that. So,
yeah. So literally, as we spoke, I took that over that I mentioned on Sporttrade. That my notes have my official play. I took the 49ers -6.5 earlier this week. I still would take them at 7. I still like them at 7. I would not touch the 7.5 because of the hook and last minute touchdown, or like, all that stuff. Yeah. But I actually think that this game is going to be an ass kicking. I think the 49ers are gonna smoke the Lions. And because I worry, like last week, the Lions played the Bucks, who can't rush the passer. 2 weeks ago, the Lions played the Rams, who can't rush the passer. It's like Jared Goff is a different quarterback in two separate situations. At home versus away, he's a totally different quarterback. He's significantly better at home. And he's also significantly better when he's not pressured. Right. Yeah. And every quarterback is bad with pressure, but not all of them are as dramatically different as Jared Goff. And, he got pressured on one play against the Rams. And if you remember, it's when he tried to dump it off to the running back, but he threw it backwards. And it was like,
that was weird. Weird.
That's what, he just can't handle pressure.
I think I texted you after that play.
Yeah, you did. You did. Yeah. We were like, what the hell is that? And he just can't handle pressure. And then on the other side of the ball, it's like, look at what the quarterbacks have done against the Lions in the playoffs. Matt Stafford, 367 yards and 2 touchdowns. last week, 349 yards and 3 touchdowns to Baker Mayfield. Like their passing defense is terrible. We've talked all year, or like the past half the season, how terrible their pass defense has been. And then like Bosa, Chase Young, Javon Hargrave, like they're just going to go after Jared Goff. And the Lions offensive line, which is phenomenal, is banged up. Like Jonah Jackson, I think, is out. If not, he's hurt. Frank Ragnow, their center, was listed. He's going to play, but he had like 7 different injuries. It was like knee, ankle, back. He like someone commented like that head, shoulders, knees, and toes song. That was about the injuries that Frank Ragnow has. And he's like he's like the Jason Kelsey of their offensive line. So I would love if the 49ers lost. I think that would be delicious because A, screw the 49ers, and B, Dan Campbell in the Super Bowl would be amazing. So yeah, I think that's going to be an ass kicking. I took -6.5. I kind of want to take an alt line -13.5, depending on like if the odds are good enough.
Oh, wow.
Because I really think it's not going to be close at all. And I do like the over because I think the 49ers are going to put up 40 points. Like I think if there are people that think the 49ers are going to win, they're going to say, well, look how bad they played last week. And yeah, if if Brock Purdy plays like that again, they'll probably lose, but it's unlikely that he will play that bad. Debo's going to be in, and he's just got a shoulder bruise, and that's mostly a pain tolerance thing. So you shoot him up, give him extra padding, he'll be fine. So yeah, that's kind of where I lean on the main lines over. I just put a unit on that one, and then the 49ers spread I already had a unit on. And then this is unrelated, but apparently Circa just moved the KC Baltimore line to -5. So it looks like late movement is coming in on the Ravens, and Circa is like sharper than Pinnacle at this point. Like they're known as the sharpest one. So all right, that's main lines. Do you have anything left? You ready to move on to player props?
No, what do you think about? I mean, no, never mind. It already moved. I was debating earlier today. The 49ers team total was sitting at 28.5. It's been steamed 2 points. Forget it now. I'm not interested anymore. Never mind. It was
the total got crushed. Yeah.
God. Wow. All right. Let's move on.
All right. So if you wanted to take, this probably isn't worth it. I was looking up alt line -13.5. It's only +176. That's got to be +200 or above, in my opinion, for the 2 touchdowns. So anyways, player props. What do you got?
Player props. Okay. I do have, even though I do think the 49ers are going to win, I think this line is a touch low for Jahmyr Gibbs. So I'm going to take a Jahmyr Gibbs rushing total, which I'm a little nervous about. But, look, we saw Aaron Jones and what he was able to do. Now, Matt just went and talked about the interior of the Lions line, which, for me, I totally agree. I think that's going to be a big problem in the trenches, but I also know that's going to probably affect Montgomery more than Gibbs. So I do think that there is a little bit of overvaluation of the San Francisco 49ers defense. So I did lock in Gibbs at over 45.5 rushing yards at PointsBet earlier this morning at -115. I think that's just a touch low. And all it takes is maybe one explosive play to get a chunk of that. And then by volume, and I don't think it's going to be the interior. From what we've seen so far in the recent weeks, when he's gotten some of those plays, it's been using his athleticism in space with pitches off to the edge. And I do think that's where maybe you can get a few chunk plays against this Niners defense. So I think that's just a bit low and just an overreaction and overvaluation of the Niners D. So give me Gibbs 45.5. To be clear, I think it moved up. I would play it up to 47.5. And I think you could still get it at 47.5. But I don't know that I would go north of 50. So if you can get it sub 50, that's about as north as I would stretch it, honestly.
So Jahmyr Gibbs is currently 47.5 at -110 at FanDuel. That's pretty good.
There you go. That's about as high as I would go, honestly.
So a couple things. I saw this comment. Sorry, something in my hair in my mouth. I saw this comment. Looks like they just posted a boost. CMC and Gibbs to combine for 200 yards from scrimmage.
Wow, that's a lot of yards.
It's a high number, but like if they yards from scrimmage, and it both includes CMC and Gibbs.
Scrimmage. Okay.
Not rushing, yards from scrimmage. So it would include receiving. I was also on Gibbs, but I took his receiving yards over 21.5.
Oh,
I did like 21.5 is crazy low in my opinion. Yeah. He cleared it last week. He cleared it in the first playoff game, and I feel like the reason why people are thinking it's going to go, like the reason why it's so low, like this receiving yard number is lower than it was last week.
Mm-hmm.
against the Bucks. And the 49ers have good running backs, true. And also Gibbs missed it in like 7 straight games to end the regular season. So I think people saw that and they're like, oh, I'm not like these outlier games, whatever. But he's clearly their most electric weapon. Clearly, like him and Amon-Ra is awesome. Amon-Ra is more of a safety valve type of guy. He's great. And David Montgomery's a good running back, but nobody on the field has the juice that Jahmyr Gibbs does. Like that touchdown run was electric. And if the like he's their passing down back. So if the Lions are dropping back and passing and Jared Goff is pressured, he's probably going to dump it off to Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, maybe that's a receptions play as opposed to a receiving yards play, but he can also break a screen pass for 20 yards. And if he, like in the past, each of the past 2 games, he's gotten 4 targets each. In that stretch where he missed it in 7 straight, he only had 4 or more targets twice in 7 games. And now he's hit it in 2 straight. So his receptions is 3.5 at plus 106. Yeah, I wouldn't. Wow. I actually wouldn't touch that. I wouldn't touch over 3.5 at plus 106. I would just stick with the yards. But that's what I took. Jahmyr Gibbs. I took him over 21.5 receiving yards. I also took Brandon Ayuk. So I pumped him up to 100 plus receiving yards, and I also took his main line at 75.5 as well. So if he gets between 75 and 100, I'll just break even. Is how I did that. And I just want to compare the odds. So Brandon Ayuk is currently, so take over 75.5 receiving yards at minus 115 at ESPN Bet, I think is a hammer. FanDuel has that at 78.5. Bet Rivers has it at 79.5. Caesars has it at 77. And then every other book, like DraftKings prices the over at minus 140. So like from an EV play, it's good. From a handicapping play, it's good. So this is a bunch of advanced stats, but PFF says that Brandon Ayuk is the 3rd best man-beating receiver in the NFL. So when defenses play man, he's the 3rd best. The Lions play man at the 10th highest rate in the NFL, and they allow an explosive rate at a 15% rate. Both of those are not good. We just saw receivers smoke the Lions in the past couple of weeks. Like last week, Mike Evans, 147 yards and a touchdown, 8 receptions. The week before that, Puka Nacua, 9 receptions, 181 yards and a touchdown.
Yep.
Dating back to the regular season, Justin Jefferson, 192 yards. CeeDee Lamb, 227 yards. Like they've been getting killed by these wide receivers. Debo's playing, so they're not going to give all their coverage to Ayuk. And even if Debo is limited, you still have CMC, you still have Kittle. Even like Jawan Jennings was good last week. And I feel like people are going to be all, I mean, I've seen a lot of people on Ayuk, so this isn't really the case. But he only had 32 last week. So I could see everybody being like, oh, he only had 32. Purdy looked terrible. Like, I'm not touching it. I think he's going to blow up. Like, I would pump him up even higher than that, depending on what the odds are. Like, I only took 100. That's best offered at plus 190, which is actually a better price than I got. So not a CLV win for me. If you do 110 plus receiving yards, that's all the way up to plus 295 at DraftKings. Like, I think he's going to have a blow up game. So I like Ayuk, and those are my 2 biggest ones.
I like Ayuk. Yeah, that was my only other play, was just Gibbs rushing, and I was going to have Ayuk as well. And for all the reasons you said, and for last week, this is how I see last week's performance. Debo is like Anthony Davis, man. I swear to God, every time I turn on the TV and glance, either Anthony Davis or Debo Samuel's being wheeled off the field or the court. It's just like, so he went out so early. Do you not think that screwed up the scheme and the game plan for the rest of that game? And the rain, and apparently Birdie's like, what is this wet thing on my hands? And it's water. So the rain, the fact that Debo went out and they didn't have to, he couldn't stretch the field. There were so many things that went into that 30-something yard performance, in my opinion, that I view that as an outlier. If it wasn't for that, I guarantee you, instead of 75.5, like this would be at, like, my opinion, like 80, 81.5, 82, something. It'd be even higher, 84.5, if he had a decent game last week. So I can't see that happening again with Ayuk, especially against this defense and how porous they are. That, like, I'm with you. I love Brandon Ayuk in today's spot. I think it's a great situational matchup. I wouldn't be surprised if I don't have a pumped up play, but I wouldn't be surprised if he totally demolished his regular line. So
yeah, that's kind of how I feel as well. And like, I wanted to take him touchdown, but it's plus 110. Like, I didn't think that was good enough value for him to score, so I didn't touch him.
Yeah, that's not a ton of value there.
Yeah, I actually didn't have an official anytime touchdown play because the total's so high, and you didn't get it's like the polar opposite of the Ravens Chiefs game. Like, there's so many guys don't have that great odds that nothing really struck out to me in terms of value. But who did you have an anytime touchdown for this one?
Weirdly, no, I don't. You saw what, and again, it's like I really put thought into it last game. Even in my Nelson Aguilar plus 800, there was a rhyme and a reason. It's like
Yeah.
man coverage. You're giving me 800 with someone who's been okay at pretty decent against man cover. Like the weird thing is, you're right, because this is so high. Everyone is like, a lot of players are close to even money.
Exactly.
It's not like there's not a ton of juice. Like you're giving me Isaiah Likely at plus 350. Like, come on, like give that to me all day. It's just nothing stood out as sexy to me here. I mean, I'm not touching anything Deebo Samuel because, like I said, I just worry he's going to be carted off again with some other injury. Like I don't know. Monty scares me, even though that's like baiting me. I don't know that they're going to be able to rush it up the middle. Like I'm sitting here staring at Gibbs. That's the only one. I'm staring at Gibbs and debating, but nothing actually jumped off the page. I got to throw something at some point, I guess. But I also didn't want to force it. I mean, we went a long stretch of the season where some games we had no TD plays, and I actually feel good about even the long shots in my last one that I don't see a ton of value. I mean, like I said, I'm sitting here mulling over Gibbs, but I don't know. Nothing really stands out. I didn't actually have an official TD play, weirdly, on this game.
Yeah, me neither. I guess we kind of came to the same conclusion. The two that I kind of wanted to talk through was Gibbs. Gibbs I like. So he's best offered at plus 130, which is, you would think, a good price because he's scored in both playoff games. He's been phenomenal. But then, like, when I do anytime touchdowns, I try to compare the best odds to the books, and it's pretty universally aligned. It's like ESPN Bet and BetMGM plus 125, Bet Rivers plus 120, DraftKings plus 115. Like, there's not a ton of odds movement there, which makes me think that the books are aligned.
Yeah.
And then the other one was Sam Laporta, who has been really good for the Lions.
Yeah.
He's at plus 180.
He's got a big odds differential. That one's all over the place.
That's probably the best bang for your buck. If you're going to take an anytime touchdown, Sam Laporta is probably the best bang for your buck. Because like I said, he's plus 180. ESPN Bet is close at plus 170. No other book is close. We're at plus 150 at Caesars, plus 143 at Bet Rivers, plus 135 at DraftKings. Like, you're not getting anything close. So it's probably Laporta. That's probably where I'll end up going, just from a value perspective.
Yeah, let me look real quick here. I also want to verify, because I know you don't bet there because of the limits and stuff, but he's plus 200 at PointsBet. I mean, that's a huge variance.
Oh yeah, I would say PointsBet. Yeah, then I remove them from my.
Yeah, that's why I figured I'd mention it, because I know you don't even glance there anymore. He's plus 200 at PointsBet. So
that's I
huge.
like plus 280, so plus 200 is even better.
Yeah. So
all right.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, anything left for this game? I think we got to do the parlays. We cashed 2 last week. We cashed
2 out of 3. That's pretty good.
That's all right. So I think we got to do. Let's see because the problem with same game parlays is the odds are terrible. Like, the odds, they nuke. So it's almost like we should do just 1 touchdown in each game.
Yeah, and FanDuel especially, man, it's just like, God,
they're them in DraftKings. ESPN Bet is a little bit more respectable in terms of their how they price anytime touchdowns, or same game parlays. But all right, well, yeah, I'll let you run with it. What do you think we should do parlay wise?
Oh God, okay.
You are the doc, after all. You are the doctor of parlays.
Yeah. Okay, so one touchdown from each game, you're saying? Just one apiece?
Yeah, we could go back if we do that. I know I just said I'd let you run with it, but we could go back to the tight end and do Likely and Laporta.
I don't hate it, because we did, neither of us had one in the second game, but we liked just the odds variance. So I would say, either Likely and Laporta or Andrews and Laporta. I would just say I just don't know about his health, so I would say Likely and Laporta. I don't mind that at all.
And you're getting better odds on Likely as well. Like, Mark Andrews is 240, Likely is 360.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
So just those two is plus 1100 or plus 1200 almost.
Oof. Okay.
All right, so that's one. Sam Laporta, Isaiah Likely, anytime touchdown.
Okay.
None of the quarterbacks. I was kind of thinking, could we do like a quarterback one, like Lamar or Mahomes?
Well, I'd say this. Okay, we have tight ends, right? Now let's just today there we don't want to force like multi 3-4 leg ones when there's 2 games. Okay, so it's like Likely and Laporta. Let's pick 2 chalk. 2 chalk. Okay, so I know like whether it's Pacheco or Lamar, but let's do 2 chalk, and then the final duo is just absurdity, like a Hardman plus somebody. Okay, like
Hardman and like Jawan Jennings.
Yeah, something like that. So first, so we have Likely and Laporta, and we like that. That's our value duo. Okay. Now, what's the chalk duo? Let's do the chalk duo.
I think we should sit out on Pacheco because his odds are getting worse and worse as the day goes on.
Okay. Okay.
So let's do Lamar, and how about if you really want to go chalk, Lamar and CMC.
Lamar CMC. What does that even come out to? Let's say
it's terrible. I'm kind of joking. That's
Lamar, and let's say
Gibbs.
Lamar and I don't know about Ayuk. Lamar and Ayuk or Lamar and Gibbs.
So Lamar and Gibbs.
Lamar and Amon-Ra. I mean, I would say one of those 3 chalkier guys.
All right. So
Lamar, or do you think I'm undervaluing Monty? You think the interior problems aren't going to be a problem at the goal line? I just worry about the front line, and the center and stuff on the Lions. Like I just don't know about Monty just barreling up the middle this time around.
Yeah, the thing with the 49ers, like their defense is built on speed, not power. So I actually think Monty would have a better bet at the goal line against 49ers.
So do we go Lamar Monty and just
let's do it.
I think this is the best you will ever get Monty ever as a chalk play.
He's plus 150.
That's what I'm saying. You're never going to see that.
Lamar Monty is plus 450 for the 2 of them. I say we just lock that in.
Yeah, respectable. All
right, okay. Now
absurd duo.
So let's see. Kyle Juszczyk.
Oh, let's see. What else?
Kyle
Juszczyk, God.
Plus 1,000.
When's the last time it was Craig Reynolds has scored?
Didn't he score last week? Didn't he steal the one? Remember we were like, who the hell is it? Wasn't it Craig Reynolds that scored last week, or is that someone else?
I think that was, man. But that's probably unlikely.
No, I mean, David CHE isn't a bad play. Like if odds are steaming away from Pacheco, that probably is because like people are scared off of the injury. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire is plus 800.
Oof.
And he might be their starting running back.
You think so? I just can't stand him.
I think he's a horrible player, but I think he's terrible. But if Pacheco's banged up, like there's a reason why people are steaming away from Pacheco.
Yeah, let's see.
Just a thought. Odell's not a bad one. Odell is plus 4 or something.
Let's see here. Yeah, what else?
Odell is plus 450.
Oof, that's not bad either. 450. Oh my God. 450. How about when is the last time? Craig Reynolds.
I swear he was the one that vultured the touchdown last week and everybody was mad at him.
Well, here's this. Okay. Let's nail down the first games one. Do we go with, we already are on the ridiculous Hardman anyway. That's hard enough to hit by himself. So do we?
I say we'd stay away from that in the parlay.
Okay. So we say Odell, that's a healthy 450. Noah Gray, Rashad Bateman, Justin Watson, Dalvin Cook even. Yeah. I mean, Dalvin Cook wouldn't be absurd. I mean, he's maybe got extra time to get some reps in. So I would say Watson, like somewhere in the like north of 400 range, like Watson, Odell, Gray, Dalvin Cook,
Rashee Rice.
Rice even. I mean, that's not even a bad one. I mean,
Rashee Rice is plus 165.
Oh, that's pretty low. So let's go for absurdity here. So
all right. I mean, I kind of like to see the CHE angle, or you think he's just not good enough? This is just not worth our time.
Man, I don't know.
For 800?
CHE.
Or maybe we do a defense, like Baltimore defense gets a turnover.
Baltimore defense.
Because you took Aguilar straight up, right? So probably
I took Aguilar straight up. Yeah.
Yeah, let's avoid him.
Or do we? I mean, I know we're already on. Well, no, we're already on Mahomes. It's hard enough to hit at plus 750 by yourself. So.
Yeah, I say we sit him out. I mean, Odell at 4. I think Odell at 420 is pretty healthy.
Okay, why don't we do Odell? And then what's another rando on the
on the Chiefs?
I'm calling Odell a rando. Whatever, Chiefs or other game. I mean, I don't think we have to force it to be the other game if we don't like it. I mean, we could do.
Yeah, there are not a lot of long shots in the other game is the only problem. Like
you're right.
We're
You're
looking
right.
for like
you're
plus
right.
400.
The value is so low. You're right. On the.
If we're looking for like plus 400 and above, it's like Jameson Williams at 410 or Jawan Jennings at 500.
Let's see. Odell. Okay, so Odell plus someone on the Chiefs. So Odell and.
So here are our options. Justin Watson is 650. MVS is 650. We're not doing Mahomes. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is 800. Richie James is 950. Noah Gray, I think you already have Noah Gray, right? Did you just have him yards?
I just had his yards.
Okay. So he's 1,000.
Okay.
And then at that point, it's Hardman, who we already took. It's Blake Bell at plus 3,500.
Okay. I say we either go Watson, MVS, or Noah Gray. Let's pick one of those.
I'd say MVS. He actually kind of came up sneakily kind of big for them.
Okay.
So I'm doing $10 on that one.
So Odell and MVS. Okay.
Hardman. So someone just asked about Hardman. Since we took him straight up, that's why we took him out of the parlay. So all right, we had 3 parlays that got a little bit more ridiculous as they went on. Number 1, the tight end parlay. Isaiah Likely, Sam Laporta. I put a quarter unit to win about 3 units. Next one is our chalk play. Lamar and David Montgomery. I put a half unit to win just under 3 units, 2.75. And then our ridiculous one, if that hits, something crazy what happened. Odell, MVS, $10, 0.1 units to win my 300.
There you go.
Sweet. All right. Well, last week we had an incredible day. Let's hope we can continue it. As you said earlier, we appreciate everybody who joined us. There's a lot of avenues in which you can go on a Sunday morning to watch people talk about football. So we always appreciate people that decide to watch us. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, Jedi Modai. You probably are. Andrew Kim, aka the ParlayDoc. You're probably following him too. And yeah, let's make a lot of money today.
All right, guys. Good luck and bet responsibly.